As these last lines are being said, the curtain rises on the scene. The lights dim on. Anne's voice fades out. Her face fades out. Or her voice fades out. Okay. So obviously, reading a play or the script, right? Ugh, I love doing that, right? So let's just start with the parentheses section, right? There's a lot of directives going on for certain characters. Anne stands in her doorway. Peter seems to be moving around to his door for a minute, and then there's this character Dussel that's directive to come in, and they shut their doors on both of them shut their doors on Dussel, and this is purposeful. Like these directors' dialogue, they are not put in there la di da. They're for something important. They want the audience to pay attention. I will always refer back to that, to pay attention. Like the author most likely did that for a reason, especially if it's a contradiction, right? So, you know, obviously, this is in the midst of everything, Act 2, Scene 1. So, this is an interesting way to end that scene. Doors shut in this person's face. And then that is a transition, right? The lights dim out, the scene slowly dims out, the curtain falls, right? And that's all we get. But then Anne's voice creeps out from the scene. And you hear that as well. The director's dialogue will also suggest how the actor should be speaking. So we have that directive right here where her voice comes over in the darkness, faint at first, and then with growing strength. And I tried to enunciate that in more ways than one, just kind of playing with it. And so we first get her kind of like diary home, if you will. She's like, we've had bad news, we're low on food essentially. And she's gonna go into what that manifests. And what she chooses to talk about is how all of their stomachs grumbling sound like instruments in an orchestra. And what a beautiful yet morbid, like, what's the word I'm looking for? My goodness. Not sarcastic. Oh, goodness. My neurons are not firing today. And it's going to come to me like after I'm done and I've moved on from the thought. But it's kind of dark humor. And so we have this personification or this metaphor. And we also have a specific contextual reference or connotative reference to Tuscany, the rise his baton and we be off in the ride of the Valkyries. And that was particularly interesting. Like it was like a battle cry. Like, and I loved that comparison to this moment of with the Valkyries. Like that starvation is one of those, like when you've done that, it's a battle, man. And so that was a great comparison as well. And then we get more of a plot continuance after that, like right away, which I love that particular way of narrating because then we learn Mr. Kraler's in the hospital, right? So there's a lot going on in her little testimonial truth, as I like to call them. But her piece is just so hauntingly beautiful, like to articulate the suffering, the struggle, all the S words, right? Um, and you feel that desperation, I think, right at the end. And for those of you in the text in the print, there's the dot dot dots. So she's just kind of like her thoughts are in and out, or her desperation is just it's making her thoughts like trail off in and out. I'm longing, dot dot dot, so longing for everything, dot dot dot, for friends, dot dot dot, for someone to talk to, dot dot dot, someone who understands, dot dot dot, someone young who feels as I do. and it's just a retardondo. The dogs are hyped for it. So it's passionate. It is very powerful stuff for a young child to be talking about something like food disparities. I'm very excited to be reading this book, um, and teaching it as well. So it'll be fun to kind of explore the kind of read alouds, potentially mini workshops like quick writes. Um, Maybe if they're feeling emboldened, having the kids take on characters, switch it up. Who could say? Um, but a lot of gloom and doom, there's an opportunity to um, have the kids kind of experience it for themselves in a controlled way, in a safe environment, right? So.